Hello friend, welcome to KBS Technocrat Python tutorial day 8. Today we are going to explore inheritance in Python. In this, we are going to learn inheritance in the Python, type of inheritance, coding exercise for all three type of inheritance. Inheritance is a fundamental concept in object-oriented programming that enables you to create new classes from existing classes. That means you can create a class by inheriting the properties or attributes from the parent class. So we will try to create a animal class which will have a property called name and species, and then we will try to create a dog class which is going to inherit the animal class and try to uh, define a method called bar. So let's try to write this code. So first we are going to do a base class. So I'm going to define a base class that is uh, animal. So I'm going to add that animal class here. So this is animal class. In this animal class, what I'm having constructor where initializer where I'm having name and species, and then I'm defining to assigning to that particular attributes name and species, and then I have a function which display a message that name is that particular parameter whatever I pass it is eating. That means either is a dog or any animal name whatever type I want to pass it, it will say that it's the eating. So this is very simple implementation of base class, or you can say parent class. Now we will define a derived class. Derived class, a class which you want to inherit properties or attributes or function from the parent class. So this I'm defining this class here. Okay, so if you see animal here, I will write here, this is parent or base class. This is a derived or child class. Okay. So now what we are doing, we have inherited the animal class here, and then we define a function bark. Now, if you want to call the function of the parent class, we can create a object of the type class and we can call it. So let me write the code there. So I just created a, let me close this first. Okay. And we will see all the code in one. Okay. So I have created an animal as a parent class, and then I define a dog as a child class, and then I created object of the child class by passing the name and species of the dog, and then I'm printing the dog name. This printing dog name, and then eat. If you see, eat is part of the parent class, which we are able to use it because this dog class is implementing the animal class. Now bark, if you see, bark is part of the derived class, that is the dog class. So we are able to use it here. Now let me run this code. It's working. So is Fido and Fido is eating, and then we are displaying this oof message here. So it's a display oof message. So this is coming from parent or base class. This method is getting called from derived class or child class. Okay, now let's consider you do not want to define anything here, you just want to just you want to inherit it. In that case, if you write here pass, and that's it. So what you have done it, you have just pass it. That means you do not want to define any property or any any function in the derived class or child class, you just want to inherit it from the parent class. So in this case, if I run it, if you say name is Fido and Fido is eating, so without declaring anything here, since it's inherited, all the property and methods are accessible here and we are able to call it. Now let's move to the next program which we are going to look on that there is there is there is a function which in a slice is called, let me put this code there. Now I have taken a real-time example. So let's say consider there is a loan class that is the base class, or you can say parent class, and then I just added two attributes, ID and amount. And what I'm doing, I'm just trying to multiply amount by two here. Okay, and I will explain it later why I'm doing this. Okay, and then what I'm doing it here into the derived class, that is a home loan, which is inheriting the loan, and then again I'm defining this initializer. When I define again this initializer, what will happen? Then in this scenario in the Python, it will never ever call this because I'm overriding it. When I do this, it will override it. It will never ever call a method from the parent class or base class. So let's try to check it. If I'm creating a new object of home loan and I'm passing two value. If it calls the parent class, then this value should display 4. So let me run it and I will clear the console. So if you see, it's displaying 2 because this is the 2 what I'm passing. It's not getting called this method at all. So if I comment this, let's say I comment this, I comment this code and pass it. As I have explained pass, I just pass it and I will clean the console. So if you are able to see here, you are able to see here 4 because what happens now, the override is not there. When we say override, if you define a same method name into the parent class and child class, then the child class will override the parent class function definition. So here what is happening when we are enabling this line of code is overriding the base class constructor or initialization. That's why it's happening. Okay, now we will try to understand what is the super key and how it's been used into the inheritance, because basically super is keyword defined into the Python that will make child class inherit all the methods and property into the parents. So let me write a program, same program with the super keyword here. So what I have done it, I have used super. If you see super, okay, and then I just initialize it here now. So what I'm doing inside the initializer of the derived class function, I'm calling the super class super, that means the derived class function. So this super will allow to access all the methods and properties into the base class. So if I run it here and I clean it this console, then you will be able to see the result will come 4. So you are able to see 4 even though we are having this definition here. Okay, now we will see how many types of inheritance are supported into the Python. Basically, whatever example we have seen, that this particular inheritance type is called single inheritance. Single inheritance is a feature of object-oriented programming that allow a class to inherit property and method from a single parent class. So that's what we have explained it, the example, the first example. Now, what is the multiple inheritance? Multiple inheritance is a feature of object-oriented programming that allow a class to inherit property and method from more than one class. So we will consider an example where we are going to define a two class, and then we are going to inherit those two class into the child class. So let me define this class here. So I will explain first and then we'll go on execution. So here one class is flyer, another class is swimmer. Now there is a third class which is called flying fish, which can fly and swim both. So that's why it's going to inherit flyer and swimmer. For this there are two parent classes which is swimmer and flyer. So this flying fish is inheriting both the parent classes, and it does not have any declaration or any definition or any logic inside this, just like a pass. So as I have explained, when you use pass, what does it do? It's just written, it does not require to define any attributes or function here. So here what we have done, we have created a new object of the flying fish, that is the child class, and then we are calling, if you see, the fly is part of the first parent, and swim is part of the swimmer class, which you can consider the second parent. So it's able to use two different function which is located in two different classes. So that's why it's called multiple inheritance, because it's able to inherit multiple parent classes. So if you see here, this is displaying I am flying, I am swimming. Now let's move to the next example where we are going to understand what is the multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance is a feature of object-oriented programming that allow a class to inherit from a parent class, which itself inherit from another parent class. That means that parent class is already a child class of other parent class. So in Python, we can implement multi-level inheritance by creating a subclass. So let me type a program here, and this is just extension of the previous example which we have used animal and dog, so we will be able to understand there. Okay, so let me minimize the screen. Okay, I hope it's visible. Okay, so here we have a animal class, animal, and then it has the eat method there, and then we are having pet. So a animal can be pet, and the pet animal, dog can be a pet animal. So what is happening? Animal is the parent for the pet, and pet is parent of dog. In this case, what is happening here is multi-level. So if we try to see here, let me type here animal, and uh, this is just for understanding. So animal, and then comes pet. I'm not trying to define it, I'm just trying to show that how the multi-level is happening here. And then we have a dog. So if you see here, here in this sequence, here dog is the child, and then pet is parent, and then for pet animal is parent. So that's how its multi-level inheritance is here. So if I run it, if you see here, this bar is available into the child function, and then the next parent contains the play, which we are calling here, and it is there on the root level, that means the animal class. So when we execute it, we'll be able to see that we are able to use those property and method, that means inheritance is working. So if you see here, you are able to see that those functions are inherited appropriately, and a class in Python is able to implement the multi-level of inheritance. That's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like, please press like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.